large army anywhere on the battlefield.
We are the blades of ire.
As you can see, Starcraft is still a game where large armies battle against large armies. Our upgraded zealots can hold the line here for a short time, but in order to really survive against this many zerglings, we're going to need to bring in some additional firepower. These are the Colossus. They're powerful robotic units that can use their long legs to step up and down cliffs. In addition, they have a powerful beam that sweeps backwards and forwards, able to do large amounts of damage to small, swarming units like these zerglings. This makes the Colossus the ideal support unit for this group of zealots.
We are the blades of ire.
And while the Protoss have developed many new weapons, the Zerg have continued to evolve. These Zerglings are mutating into banelings. These small, suicidal creatures are filled with explosive chemicals and corrosive acids. Makes the banelings very potent against zealots that have no defense, and even dangerous against the mighty Colossus. You can see our last Colossus here is forced to run, try to get to high ground in order to survive. The Colossus is using our new IK system to step up and down this cliff. It's just one example of the new types of technologies we're adding to StarCraft 2 to make the game more dynamic. Now, while the Colossus is very dangerous against ground targets, it's much more vulnerable to an air counterattack. This swarm of Mutalisks will quickly destroy our Colossus and then continue on to attack our base. We'll need to bring in some Phoenix. This is a new Protoss air superiority fighter. It has a special overload ability that allows it to fire its weapon at all nearby enemy forces. Unfortunately, after it overloads, the Phoenix goes offline for a short time. It can't move, it can't fight, and it's helpless against a counterattack. In the hands of a skilled player, the Phoenix can be extremely deadly. If you overload at the right time against the right enemies, you may destroy them all, and there will be no one left to take advantage of your temporary weakness.
Time for battle. Understood.
We've done a lot of work on our terrain here in StarCraft 2. We've got our space platform here, and you can see we've also got a lot of great doodads in this environment, some wonderful texture work. You notice we've got a planet there and our deep sky in the background. There's some asteroids floating in the distance. This is just one example of the types of environments we want to create for StarCraft 2.
For honor, on the wings of justice.
While the Phoenix are very powerful against small flyers like Mutalisks, they're much more vulnerable to heavily armed and armored targets like these battlecruisers. They just don't have the firepower to cut through that thick Terran armor. In order to deal with a battlecruiser squadron of this size, we'll need to bring in our warp rays. The warp ray is a specialist Protoss flyer that does additional damage the longer it fires at a single target. This makes the warp ray very potent against heavily armored targets. Same thing that makes the warp ray powerful against battlecruisers also makes it very powerful against enemy structures. You can see this barracks is taking loads of damage and will try to lift off to escape, but it's just not fast enough to get away from the warp ray.
All right, you alien freaks. You made your choice. Now you're gonna pay the price.
The warp rays are very vulnerable to small units. You can see these Marines are coming in, and the warp ray is just wasting way too much of his damage firing at a single target. Makes the Marines a strong counter for the warp ray. You notice our physics system is in action there. As these warp rays die, their pieces fall down and slide down the ramp a little bit. It's just another example of the types of technologies we're adding to StarCraft 2.